to, I think this is the third Tipsy Talk of 2025. We have made it through another 2 weeks. Who knows if we'll be here in 2 more, but hopes are high. We want to start by thanking Jaspers for hosting all these for us. They've been an amazing venue. They have plenty of seats. There's lots of standing room. There's plenty of cold beer. And we're just very grateful for Kathleen and Phil for manning and womaning the bar and keeping us all well lubricated for these series. I also want to thank Felicia at Newport Downtown Development and Scott for hosting last week in my 2 weeks ago, my absence. It's good to know that there are reliable people out in the world who can fill in when you need them. So tonight, we're going to hear from 3 speakers. We're going to hear from Alia Salem, we're going to hear from Lynn Rubley and Nancy Moore, and we're going to hear from Dean Hale. These stories are all related to exploring the world, which I think we should all remember is a very important thing so that we are grounded in reality. So make sure as these stories progress, you are grounding yourself and appreciating the travels that you've been fortunate enough to have, the places you've been, the people you've met. And just remember that everybody's got a tipsy talk inside of them. So if you have gone on an adventure and you think something happened that was entertaining, please share the stories with us. We are happy to put you up on stage and stare at you uncomfortably for upwards of 30 minutes. So we have had a little bit of a delay tonight, so I'm just going to get right to it. We're going to welcome Alia up to the stage. She's going to tell us about living in a van down by the river. And we're going to listen very politely and carefully because we don't have a microphone tonight. Because I forgot. So you can blame me. But if you start talking, I'm going to stare at you very uncomfortably. Just like you all are at me right now. So, Alia, come on up. Let's get started. And make sure you... Make sure you have a good time. Good?
This is not going to be grounding. This is going to be chaotic as hell. So I'm Alia. This is surviving the van life dream of how I've been living on and off in my camper van for the last 4 years. First, I just feel like it's important to tell you how this dream came about and why I'm so obsessed with it. And it started in high school. In high school, I was really, really determined to not go to the University of Florida. I grew up in Florida. Everyone at my high school was super obsessed with UF, and I thought the hype was really stupid, and I did not want to go there. I wanted to travel and go to school out of state. But my mom made me apply, and it was the best school I got into. So I went to the University of Florida. And I stayed in a building that was literally shaped like UF, just to twist the knife just a little bit more. Then I was in college, and I really did not want to be an English major. My mom was an English major. I wanted to do something different. I knew I had a knack for writing, but I didn't want to write stories in a stuffy voice that wasn't mine. And I didn't want to read books that I didn't care about. So I became a graphic design major. And I did not fit into my graphic design classes. Everybody was very artsy-fartsy in a way that I couldn't understand. Like, for example, this is something we studied. This banana that was taped to a wall that sold for $6.2 million. And people were really into this. And I was like, I had a banana for breakfast. Do I get money for it? So I became an English major. At the end of college, I was determined not to move back home. Like, that would have been the worst possible hell of my life. I had just had this whole experience of freedom in college, and going home just felt like failure. And so this time I actually had a plan. All right? Plan A and B, I was up for 2 internships with National Geographic, one for video storytelling and one for journalism. If those didn't work out, I would join the Peace Corps because that's what people do when they're avoiding adulthood. And if that didn't work out, I would be a flight attendant and travel for free and explore the world. Then COVID hit. I graduated 2 months after COVID started, and everything just went to The internships were canceled. People were sending the Peace Corps people home. Flight attendants, there was COVID on the planes. You were not allowed in airports. So I had to move back home. Yeah, this was rock bottom for me. Every day consisted of easy applying on LinkedIn to every job imaginable. Where I live, like, it's known you can get a job at Disney. Like, I'm 10 minutes from Disney World. They fired 30,000 people. I could not get a job for the life of me. So one day I was pretending to apply to jobs, but I was really scrolling Instagram and I found this. This girl living in her van, just making some kind of magical income online, traveling the world with her dog. I was like, this is the dream. COVID doesn't matter because I'll be in the middle of the woods by myself and I can make money online and I don't need to get hired. I'll just make my own money. So this became like my new obsession, and I was so determined that this would not be like, I'm not going to UF. This would not be like, I'm not being an English major. This would not be like, I'm not moving home. This was freaking happening. And I still kind of feel that way. This is still like the dream for me. Thank you. So I hope that kind of explains why I put myself through the following situations. Yeah. So, getting the bus. This is the bus that I ended up getting. Really cute, right? That's how it looked. Yeah, I want to talk about what happened. At this point, I was living in Gainesville. I had moved out of my parents' house and I was working at a seafood restaurant, like just trying to make ends meet. And I had just started seeing this boy. I swear this is relevant. We were 2 months in. He had said, I love you. I had not said it back. But he wanted to come pick up the bus with me. So I was like, sure, come along. So the plan was leave super early in the morning, drive to the airport, which was like 2 hours away, fly to North Carolina, which is where the bus was, and drive it back home. Get a temporary tag at a DMV and drive it back home. The drive is like 7 hours. So we were gonna do it in one day. It was a Thursday. Friday, I was gonna celebrate my new bus. Everything was gonna be chill, it was gonna be great. And Saturday, I was gonna help throw a friend's 21st birthday party. That did not happen the way that it was supposed to. So we drove to the airport at 2 a.m. We got to the airport and this boy I was with forgot his driver's license. We are at the security station and he is showing them a library card from the 7th grade, begging them to let us through. And my brain was not like, oh, maybe this is like a bad sign. Maybe we should turn back. My brain was like, let us through. This needs to happen. And they actually did let us through. So, great sign. Another thing to note, Hurricane Elsa was flying in the same day that we were flying in. And when I heard that a hurricane was gonna be there, when we were gonna be there, my brain was not like, oh, maybe I should reschedule picking up this bus, because driving a giant vehicle that I've never driven before in a hurricane would probably not be the most peaceful thing to do. No, because of the obsession and the hardcore dream, my brain was like, oh my God, I hope they don't cancel my flight. That would suck. So, hurricane is rolling in the second we land. The clouds are looming. It's like 7 a.m. We drive to a Starbucks to meet the massage therapist's husband. That's what I call him because he was the seller and he originally bought the bus to turn into a massage portable business for his wife. And they gutted it, and then they realized it was too much work, so they wanted to offload the bus onto some unsuspecting little girl who was obsessed with van life. And insert me. So we meet the massage therapist's husband, and I give him payment, he gives me the title, and we go into the bus, and I try to start the bus, and it just goes zzz, 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 zzz. And I was like, hey, is this supposed to happen? And he was like, let me try. And so he gets in and he cranks that key. Like I could see the veins popping in his arm and he cranks it and he gets it to start. And my brain was not like, oh, maybe this is a bad idea. My brain was like, perfect, it works. It's great. So then we leave, and we're on our way to a DMV, and I get a call from massage therapist's husband. And he's like, hey, can you meet me at a bank? Because the cashier's check that you gave me isn't gonna land in my bank account for like 7 days. Is it okay if you meet me at this bank to like take out the money and, you know, give it to me in cash in person? And I just want to note real quick that yes, this is a cashier's check. This is not a real check. Because I don't have a real checkbook because I am a child. I am a child at this point. Like, I'm just loose in the world with money that someone gave me for doing something. Like, you give sugar to a child and you just let them go. Like, that's where I'm at. So I show up to the bank and I ask the teller to give me $5,500 in cash, and they're like, okay, because not questioning anything. I got half this money from underneath my bed. Like, that's where I'm at in adulthood at this point. And so the teller gives me a big wad of cash, and I look at it and I'm like, wow, this is the most cash that I've ever held in my hand, ever. And like a flicker of doubt in me happens. They're like, do you really want to give this away? And my brain was like, yes, yes you do. So I turned around and I gave it all the way to this stranger massage therapist's husband. And I've been perpetually broke ever since. So after that, Hurricane Elsa is coming down hard. She is just slapping rain down onto the bus, and I'm stressed. Like, I'm gripping the wheel so hard. And we turn into a gas station, and I get out, I fill up the tank, I get back in. I'm texting friends, I'm like, hey, I'm still gonna be there for the party. I swear I'm gonna help set up. Just a slight delay, but I'm gonna be there. And as I'm texting them, I look up and I see this boy, and he has corralled someone from the gas station to come help put new windshield wipers on the car. Because the windshield wipers on this bus were just noodles on the glass. Like, I could not see a thing driving through this hurricane. And I saw him putting windshield wipers on this car, and my stressed out brain was like, oh my God, I'm in love. I saw this small act of service and thought, oh my gosh, I need to give this boy the next 2 years of my life. So this is love, do-do-do-do. Like, that's where the delusion was. Like, how in peril does one have to feel to see this small act of service and fall in love? Yeah, that's where I was at. So the next series of events are all kind of a blur in my head. I have no idea what chronological order they came in. But I know I called AAA once from a grocery store parking lot where I called them to get a jump. I would later learn that there was nothing wrong with my battery at all. It was just that the bus didn't register that it was in park, so it wasn't starting. So I called AAA to get a jump start, and they were trying to jump it, and it took forever, and eventually somehow we got the bus going because someone cranked the gear harder into park and got it going. The second time I called AAA, they did not show up, and I was in a church parking lot that was completely empty, and after hours of waiting for them, we flagged down a Domino's pizza truck to come jump the bus that didn't need to be jumped. But somehow we got it started. We ended up booking a campsite because there were so many delays, and at that campsite, we were right next to a couple, and the guy that was there was very drunk and very angry and was looking at us like we were sketchy. And I remember thinking, like, oh my God, I really hope this isn't what van life is like. And then I just shoved that thought back down. I was like, definitely not. This is not what van life's like. This is just a very specific situation. Thankfully, that's the most unsafe that I've ever felt at a campsite, I guess, thankfully. Okay. Next, I remember driving to a pizza place. We had a pizza place in the maps. And I remember pulling into what I thought was the parking lot of the pizza place. and I see a lot of big rocks next to me in this parking lot, and the bus's lights start flickering, and I'm like, okay, this is spooky, and I get out of the bus, and I swear this sounds made up, but the fog started rolling in, and I realized we were in a graveyard. In a graveyard, not even a road in the graveyard, like in the graveyard. Like I stepped out and there was a tombstone right there, and I was like, oh, I bought a haunted bus. That's just great. This bus is possessed. But my brain, because of the dream, because of the obsession, I was not like, maybe I need a new bus because it's clearly haunted. No, my brain was like, I'll make friends with the ghosts. We'll be possessed together. It's fine. Next, I remember being in a Walmart parking lot, sleeping there for the night. We were sleeping on an air mattress that was slowly deflating, and I still don't know why. And we were sweating like pigs and like not touching each other because it was so hot. And I confessed my love because of windshield wipers. And he said, okay. And that was that. Next, I remember being in an AutoZone. And I remember the alternator of the bus on the counter as the guy behind the counter was searching for a new alternator for me because they had convinced me that the alternator was shot and it could not be used and it was dead forever and I had to replace it. They were also all Hispanic and only spoke Spanish. And we're in North Carolina, so I thought that was a little sketchy. Like there was not one English-speaking person in this AutoZone. And then they realized that the alternator of my bus is not made anymore. And they couldn't replace it, and so all of a sudden the alternator was fine. And there was something else that needed to be direly replaced. And I think I let them replace it. I didn't really know what they were saying. They were speaking Spanish. So next, finally, I'm 20 minutes from Gainesville. We're almost home. The hurricane has passed. The sun is setting beautifully through the trees. And I'm like, this is a good sign. Like, everything's gonna be fine. Like, I got all things out of the way. Nothing could possibly go wrong ever again. And I look over and I see this beautiful crane flying in the woods next to the road. And I'm like, wow, what a great sign. It's so beautiful. Everything's gonna be great. We're almost home. And it's like getting a little bit closer, and I'm like, wow, I can see it's like feathers, it's so gorgeous. And it's getting closer. And I'm like, wait a minute, buddy, you're a little too close for comfort. And closer, and I remember like audibly screaming, no. And all of a sudden just splat, feathers everywhere. And that was the first time that I cried on this trip. Yeah, but the windshield wipers came into good use. Yeah. So then we made it home. It's that night. I did not help set up this birthday party. I barely made it. But I'm at the birthday party and I get a call from North Carolina. I'm like, that's weird. So I answer and it's this woman. She's like, hi, it's AAA. We still haven't found a tow truck in your area. But I just wanted to make sure you're still in a safe location. And I kid you not, this is what I said. Girl, safe location? I'm in an Uber on the way to the club. I hung up. So that's how I got the bus, and it turned into this. Yeah. So like, worth it? Maybe not. I don't know. Who's to say? But we got a bed on pulleys. We got a giant sink. We got a jumper seat. This is nice. A hammock chair, a nice fridge, a cute little composting toilet, solar panels. Like, this is like my favorite thing on the entire planet, and I could never ever sell her, even though she still breaks down constantly. I can't because she's gorgeous. It's beautiful, thank you. So yeah, now I have a tiny little ukulele song that perfectly sums up my van life experience. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Yes.
We're ready.
I really could not have wrote a different song. That perfectly sums it up. But now I'll give you like a little bit more of a detailed explanation of what the experience was like. No. So before I start this little video, this is a little shameless plug. I have a van life blog if you want to follow it. There's the QR code. Anyway, so here's an actual video. This is not public on YouTube, just so you know. This is very private.
Do you want me to turn this off? You want me to turn this off? Off?
No, you can record
But
it.
this goes on YouTube.
Well, this is not technically on YouTube.
This would be.
Okay, cool. Well, you can do it. It's fine. It's fine. All right.
Crank it.
All the way.
Yeah.
All right.
What? What? Alright, I think I need these tires. I need these tires. Stronger. Look how compared. Bro, it comes up to my boobs, these tires. Wow. That's what I want. I'm about to take my first outdoor shower. It's gonna be so cold. I actually feel like so much better right now. This is day number 4 without showering. I feel so much better right now. Alright, I did. Yikes! You got this. Yeah, those songs do not help. It's nice over there? You like it? Bro, it's like you're in a coffin. Oh, that's weird. I just took an illegal shower. I snuck into a state park and there was nobody there. At the visitor center, they were closed, but their bathrooms are outside the main building and they had showers in there, so I just took a shower and left. And I didn't pay for it. And then I drove 10 minutes to a free campsite. Am I a criminal? Yes. But I'm clean. A clean getaway, if you will. I'm in the middle of nowhere, just out here looking like this, doing this. I can feel them moving. They're freaking out because I'm killing them. I'm killing them and they know it. I can feel them squirting the dead survive. 10 more minutes and you'll be dead, sir. Oh my God. I need human interaction. Holy shit. Hi. Bigger. What the fuck? Guys, we're gonna get me to my area. No, I'm so sure of it. Oh, it's coming back. It's coming back.
I'm gonna keep recording this so I can make sure we didn't dream this tomorrow.
There's a delay. Oh my gosh, that is it, guys.
That's what, a rocket ship?
That's SpaceX.
SpaceX? No way that we accidentally saw that happen. That is the coolest shit ever.
What the fuck?
I saw a rocket.
This is just too funny to me. Well, not funny at all, actually, but a little bit funny. Oh my god. And it's hailing. And it is hailing.
Everything. Oh, that's so fucking funny.
Wow, what a noise that was.
We're getting, yeah. Yep.
Like a roadie in a pot.
Is it alright if I record?
You can even do it.
Probably the first stitch we could find.
That's our hill.
Hill?
That's our hill, bro. That's a hill. That hill. We're going between those trees over that little bush. Well done.
Thank you for watching.
Are you still living in the van? Are you still living in the van?
Right now I'm living here,
Oh.
but the van is definitely still a plan that will happen again.
Did you have a connection here that brought you here?
Yes, Rick and Kitty, Rick Everchase, Kitty Everchase, are my aunt and uncle.
That explains a lot.
That explains a lot, right? Rick helped me get the bus. Yep,
It's all his fault.
it's all Rick's fault.
I just want to thank Alia again, so let's give her a round of applause.